topic number 3 or 4 that I want to talk about. Dating and romantic relationships. Do you think that children should be taught in school about dating and romantic relationships? And do you think they do, or do the schools do a good job or a decent job of raising this issue and educating the kids? What do you guys think? Who wants to go on this for this one?
First of all, I think I love what Alexandra just said. And it's so true. Everything comes from within, and you have to look within. And if you were to say that in a classroom, they would look at you, at least around here, like you're crazy. They would say, that you can't wish things true. That's what I have these books, Healing Back Pain. And I gave it to my sister-in-law because she had problems. And I went to every doctor, but the acupuncture guy gave me this book. And it was so true. I don't know if you ever read it, Healing Back Pain by Dr. Sarno. And my sister-in-law laughed at me and said, you can't wish things true. And I thought, well, first of all, it's not wishing, but she has no idea about the law of attraction or the power of the mind. And I totally agree, too, with the animals. I have a bunch of animals, farm animals, and they all get along. And one day my older brother said, what are you doing with all these animals? I had goats, chickens, ducks, turkeys. And I said, I don't know. Every time I come out here and sit with them, they just somehow make me happy. It's just such a great feeling. All the geniuses in the world in the past, they never finished school. None of them did, the real geniuses, right? Think of one.
There's different cultures, and in different cultures, they have different expectations and views about dating. And, again, I'm in the United States now, and I see my children, are being taught a lot more than I ever did as a child. In fact, my 8-year-old son was learning about reproductive system, and I got a video, like a more than an hour long video, and it talks about the nature and why reproductive system. And it really started with, like, if they were talking about sex, and it was very, very interesting, like people are walking, and subconsciously, the whole point of why we want to be attractive to each other, it all comes down to the reproduction and, having another generation coming after your generation. And the whole thing went through from there to on a very animalistic, basic idea of why we have, different sexes and attraction and so on, and to like reproductive systems, to like how the babies are born and so on. So it was just really, I was very impressed, I have to say. And again, this is just my experience with our school system. And we have people from usually we have people from different countries. Today, we only have 3 different countries being represented. So we will have the views of those, even if they do talk about physiologically what to expect based on reproductive system and so on. But I don't think they really do a good job about teaching people about dating or romantic relationships, or how to be a gentleman, or how to be a polite person in general.
Chivalry is out the window. They're teaching gay and transgender and these things that just don't match up with the majority. And I don't have anything against people that want to, explore those options, but that's just not the majority. It's just not. And we're paying a top dollar, and it's like it's getting pushed on the kids, especially in New York City. It's getting pushed on these kids. And I think I know a person that got and I don't know her personally, so don't look at me funny, but she got her 11-year-old a sex change. And I think it's horrific to do that to a child, and to tell them that they're something that they're not. And so I think in school, you have to start with God. And if you don't believe in God, you have to start with the universe. And you could call it anything you want, but there's a source and a connection out there, and a frequency and a vibration and energy. And it's true, everything Alexandra said before. And if you are a good person and you like yourself, they say you'll never be alone if you like the one you're with, which is true. then a relationship will just happen naturally. Like attracts like. That person will come into your life right at the exact time that you need that person to come in there.
What
Uh,
do you think, Alexandra? What's your take on this?
Yes, I find this a very exciting subject, of course, relationships, because it's true, as you said, Anna. It's in schools we talk about reproductive side, about very functional side, but we hardly talk about, like Tommy said, about emotions. The emotional part. How do you connect with the other? Does that other person really is really the right person for you? That's also something, because we're very much looking at physical features. Is he nice? Does he look attractive? But we do not know, especially at a younger age, we do not know if this person is really suitable for you, you know? And that is something, there again, you need to have a minimum of self love to be able to choose that person who is also able to give you love. You know, that is often the thing. Lots of people are looking for that partner who is going to fulfill the let's say the things you have not received, like love. You've not had enough attention in your childhood or in your, well, a bit later life at school, and you're going to make up for it with a partner. So this partner has to make up for the things you're missing, and that, I believe, is a very wrong start. You have to first love yourself. There
But how do
again.
you teach that, Alexandra? How do you teach children to self-love? I'm struggling with that with my own children. I have a child who will say certain things like he doubts himself, he
Yeah,
doesn't think he's worth it, he
yeah,
thinks other people are better than him, which in reality
yeah,
that's not true at all. And I'm
yeah.
struggling and I'm like, why is this child? He came from me, he has my genes. What's going on? Why is this child telling me these things? And I'm trying so hard. And I'm, to teach him to like have, self love, but also, respecting himself. And I keep asking him, if you do not respect yourself, others will not. You have to be the first one to respect yourself. How do we teach this to our children, especially when the schools aren't doing it?
Yeah. Well, there again, we must also say every person, every child has his own path. That's one thing. You must respect his life path, but also motivate him at school. And there again, the school is often not that good. They're all about competition. Every child has got something to contribute to this society, has got a talent. Let's also look at each child, what sort of talent he or she has, and emphasize those talents. That's already one start. And the second start is, of course, children, we can have lessons where children start to know themselves better, and you do little tasks. You talk about your feelings, you talk about what you love, but we also don't have those lessons. I'm sure they don't really exist in the States either. So it all starts there. And it's also about society. What kind of society do we have? Is it all about money, or is it also about human value? So in fact, we start small, but it's on all levels. We need to change something, and it all starts with ourselves, of course, with the parents. And you can only do whatever you can do, but a child needs to be just motivated and get love and already appreciation at school. I believe that's the start, and have lessons about your emotions, just simply being authentic. And then again, what I'm trying to push a little bit and motivate at school is that, again, children can learn self-love.
You just gave me a great idea because I think through our Get Skills Academy, Alexandra, I think we're going to create a course about self love. And we're going to teach our kids and our teenagers and adults how to respect and love, learn how to love themselves. I think this is really more important than money, in my opinion, because
Yeah,
money comes if you have self love. If you don't
sure.
have self love, money doesn't come because if you don't believe in yourself, you cannot be successful.
Yeah,
So that's part of, and I see this, most successful people are confident people. It's very difficult to be successful when you're not confident. And it all starts from self-love and self-esteem. You have to have self-esteem, believe in yourself, and really love yourself. Those are really, really, really good points.